There are many in the mainstream media that seem to be writing the Tea Party off, saying that after losing the fight to defund Obamacare once again, they're done. Well, Sarah Palin says if you think the Tea Party is down, you're wrong. Here's the former Alaska governor on the Kelly file.
If we stand united, well, then we won't lose the House, and we could even win back the Senate. I tell you, fiscal conservatives are more energized than ever after last night's deal where Americans came out as the losers because we're just going to incur more and more debt. This unsustainable spending spree that Barack Obama is on. No, we're saying enough is enough, and we are energized.
All right, so we brought in two key figures in the Tea Party movement, Scottie Nell Hughes, news director of the Tea Party News Network, and David Webb, who is co-founder of Tea Party 365, also host of the David Webb Show on Sirius, the Patriot Channel, and he's a Fox News contributor, because we just wanted to see if they had packed it up and gone home. Apparently not. Welcome to both of you. Scottie, let me ask you this. What'd you want to get out of the whole thing?
Well, that's the thing. First, we were dead and we were put into a coffin. Then, all of a sudden, you have Harry Reid and Barack Obama mentioning us literally on a daily basis. And now, all of a sudden, we're back down again. Listen, let's make the truth of it. The American people did lose the other night. But the Tea Party won because we were able to identify who the wolves in our flock were. So now, Sarah Palin is right. We are energized, and we know what exact races we're going to be going after come 2014 or 2016.
David, one of the things that the president has talked a lot about, Sarah Palin reacted by saying, if you're going to blame the GOP, Mr. President, you're just out of touch. What does she mean?
Everybody's looking to play the D.C. scorecard game, Jamie. Who won, who lost? Who cares? The American people lost, and I asked this of the American people, what solutions did you actually get out of what happened in the last 3 weeks? With this whole shutdown, showdown, debt ceiling debacle, what we ended up with was blowing through the sequester cuts by $19 billion. We ended up with no solutions. We kicked the can to January 15th. We can borrow until February, and we're going to go through this hamster wheel again. This is D.C. at its worst, and John McCain said it best on Greta Van Susteren. It was an honest moment. He said to Greta the other night that politicians care about their approval ratings. Notice I'm not talking about party here. Governor Palin has a point. Galvanizing moments happen with this. Ted Cruz went down with a fight. He was going to lose, but it galvanized the Americans. So put aside the polls and look at what really happens legislatively. Look at what the ratings agencies will do. Chinese, their ratings agency, Dagong, they downgraded us to an A-. Moody's, Fitch, and S&P, they're looking at us. So America, let me ask you the question. What actually happened? The D.C. scorecard. Get past it. Forget about the polls. The real poll that matters, we got to get to the ballot box in 2014. But my admonition to the Tea Party and to anyone out there, we need to fix the structure that is the GOP, and we also need to put up credible candidates who are viable, who can win, who have the ability to do the job, not any more Christine O'Donnells. It just doesn't work.
And let me, without picking on anybody, you sound energized. So David is already looking forward. He's not looking back. He's looking at what's going to happen next. How are you going to take seats?
Well, it's real simple. First of all, whether you want to sit here and talk about you liked what Ted Cruz did with his filibuster or not, he accomplished one thing. He engaged people. People had to pay attention to what was going on in Washington, D.C. politics. That is a winning for the Tea Party, and that's how we're going to continue to keep this momentum in 2014, 2016. We're going to get good candidates, but more importantly, we're going to get the people behind those candidates because now they know, now they are informed that this is affecting them.
You know, I'm interested for you to hear Britt Hume's perspective on this on Special Report this week.
But Senator Cruz and his adherents do not view things in conventional terms. They look back over the past half-century, including the supposedly golden era of Ronald Reagan, and see the uninterrupted forward march of the American left. Entitlement spending never stopped growing. The regulatory state continued to expand. The national debt grew, and finally in the Obama years exploded. They see an American population becoming unrecognizable from the free and self-reliant people they thought they knew. And they see the Republican Party as having utterly failed to stop the drift toward an unfree nation supervised by an overweening and bloated bureaucracy. They are not interested in Republican policies that merely slow the growth of this leviathan. They want to stop it and reverse it. And they want to show their supporters they'll try anything to bring that about.
What's the opportunity for the Tea Party there?
The opportunity is the millions of Americans who've bought into an ideal that we need a limited, effective, efficient government at all levels, state, municipal, and at the federal level. This is not just the federal government. These are the responsibilities of the states, of responsible governors and legislatures, and Britt's absolutely right. We've had a pendulum that swung a little left, a little right, but an unstoppable march in many ways of a change in American culture. And politics, frankly, is downstream from culture. We as a culture in this country need to make bigger demands and more direct demands of not only ourselves, but of our government, and they have to work together to battle this Leviathan, as he calls it, or else we lose in the long run. It's unsustainable debt. We cannot handle this. Republicans have not fixed Medicare and Medicaid. They've not tackled Social Security. They've not done the needed things to fix it. We've got to do the real work in this country, and here's the bitter pill. There's pain coming. There is pain involved, but do you go over a 10-foot cliff or a 100-foot cliff? You might break your legs over 10 feet. You go over a 100-foot cliff as a country, we are going to lose.
Or you stand on the cliff and you look at the peak across the way and you see where you're going next, which it sounds like you are. Scottie, David, thank you very much. Interesting discussion. Bill?
I want to go hide. Thanks,
Don't be
Dave.
afraid. Don't be afraid.
Wow.
It's okay. I got you
I'll
covered.
protect you,
Thank
Bill.
you, buddy.